Hey everyone, hope you're all doing well. In my previous video, I spoke about upgrades and improvements I made to my CNC, and I've shared some tips and lessons I learned from my CNC build, and I received many comments and more tips from other CNCers. And in that video, I mentioned that I will be swapping my MACH4 controller for an open source control card for various reasons. One reason being I want to be able to use the CNC control software of my choice and not be locked in with a specific software. Open source software and firmware is free and gets constant updates and improvements with inputs from the community. The second being cost. For example, a MACH4 hobby license sells for $200 US. And yes, I paid full price for my license, so I'm able to use it in my machine with my current controller and keep my machine operational. So my control card I chosen for the upgrade is the CNC control card manufactured by Pibot Electronics. A quick disclaimer, I purchased the control card with my own money and I'm not receiving any form of compensation from the supplier. However, I do have the consent in using and showing this in my videos. In this video, I'm not going to focus on swapping out the controller, but rather have a detailed look at this new board, looking at the functions, the features, the inputs and the outputs, and also how to compile and upload firmware. So as I mentioned, this control card is manufactured by Pibot Electronics, and this is version 4.9 plus B. From the time I purchased my controller, they did release an upgrade version, the 4.9 Pro, with some additional functions and features. The control card runs on an ESP32 chip, and it supports FluidNC as well as GRBLHAL firmware. For connectivity, we have a USB-C port, as well as Bluetooth or Wi-Fi. The Wi-Fi is available once the firmware is compiled and uploaded to the control card. There's also a SD card slot for uploading files directly to the controller. On the power supply side of the controller, we have a range of 9 to 30 volt DC input, and I will be using 24 volt DC. As we can see on the bottom of the control card, all the terminals are neatly labeled and can easily be identified. On the input side of the controller, we have 8 analog input pins that can be assigned to limit switches, homing switches, probes, or even tool setters. And all of these inputs are protected by integrated optocouplers. On the output side, we have 4 PWM pins that can be used for laser modules or even VFDs. However, this is only 5 volt output. For direct VFD communication, we have a RS485 terminal and a 0 to 10 volt output. The 0 to 10 volt output acts like a PWM signal, and the voltage can be adjusted with the adjustment screw. You can measure the voltage out with a multimeter to ensure you send the correct voltage to your VFD to match your spindle RPM from the software with your actual spindle. On the supply side of the controller, we have a 9 to 30 volt DC input range. I will be using a 24 volt DC input. We also have an onboard relay to connect and control devices like your dust collector. On the drive side, we have 6 axes on this controller: X, Y, Z, A, B, and C. In my setup, I will use a X, Y1, a Y2, and a Z configuration. With the independent and dual Y-axis configuration, I will try to compile the firmware to support auto squaring for the gantry. The controller supports onboard drivers as well as external drivers. When using external drivers, we need to ensure that these pins are jumpered like this. This is to ensure that we have the enable, step, direction, and ground pin linked to the terminals. The control card is sold as is, but you can add to your purchase a Wi-Fi antenna and an acrylic case. The control card is shipped with these jumpers that is required for your external drivers. All the information and files you need for preparing, installing, and configuring your control card is available on Pibot's website. Let's go ahead and compile some firmware, and then we'll do a motion test on the CNC. Okay, so let's go ahead and compile and upload FluidNC firmware. Open a web browser and go to the FluidNC installer and connect your control card via USB. And I will do a fresh install. So once the installation is complete, we can upload the configuration file. The configuration file is available for this controller on Pibot's website. I will select this as my active config, and from here we can do parameter settings and configurations within the file. So we can set axis parameters for the X, the Y, and the Z. You can change your steps per minute or your maximum rate, and even the input and the outputs as needed. For the inputs and the outputs, I have selected and activated the probe on GPI pin 2. On the spindle tab I have a laser enabled on pin 12, and also for the VFD on the 10 volt output pin, pin 13. In this tab you can also set your maximum speed for your spindle. Then in the source file we can go ahead and change parameters as required, and even do pin assignments as needed. We'll save it, and now your firmware is ready to use. Let's go ahead and set up the Wi-Fi connection. You select your available AP, you select the AP you want to connect to and add your password, and save. We can now test the Wi-Fi connection, and we will be directed to the web UI. From here you can upload files and control your CNC. Let's compile firmware for GRBLHAL. We'll go onto the GRBLHAL web builder. We'll select our driver, ESP32 in this case, and the board with Pibot 6-axis. From here we can generate and download the firmware to compile. I'll select the 4th axis and gang the Y-axis. I'll leave the PWM pin as is, and then it's options for plugins and network connectivity. I'll enable the web UI and leave Wi-Fi enabled and select it as AP. Advanced features I'm not going to change, and third-party plugins I'm not going to add. Optional inputs, I can add a pin for the tool setter. We'll generate and download firmware. So with the firmware downloaded, we can go ahead and unzip. And these are the files we need to compile the firmware. I will compile the firmware using the ESP Flash tool. And then select the ESP chip and upload the files we just downloaded. You need to make sure that the addresses are correct as per the assignment. From here we can hit the combine button, and it will combine all the files into a bin file that can be uploaded to the controller. You can start uploading from the ESP tool, but I use a different tool. Once all the files are compiled, you'll have a target.bin file. This is your firmware, and you can upload it onto the control card. Once the firmware is compiled and uploaded to the control card, we reboot the controller, and then we can test in GSENDER. And as you can see, we are connected to the control card via USB, and GRBLHAL is installed. So firmware is now compiled and uploaded to the controller. I have connected the external drive for the X-axis onto the board. Before powering the controller with 24 volt DC, I need to remove this jumper. This is only used when powering the controller from the USB. And we are now ready to do a test on the CNC. Okay, so let's go ahead and test movement on the X-axis. My control software of choice is GSENDER from CNC Labs, and it supports GRBLHAL. Let's go ahead and connect on the COM port. And as you can see, we have GRBLHAL installed. Okay, so we'll move in a positive direction. As you can see, it's going in the opposite direction, but we can fix that in the configuration. We'll just invert the direction for the X-axis. And we'll move again in a positive direction. And now it's working. And within GSENDER, we can do all the configurations as required for the motors and the machine's parameters. Okay, so that confirms that the firmware is compiled correctly and the control card is functional. For the next video, I will prepare all the configurations for the swap out and reinstall the new controller into the control box. If you'd like to see that video, stick around. As always, thanks for watching.